Alright guys, I'd like to thank you for tuning the video today. If you haven't done it, please hit that like and subscribe at the bottom corner. Today we're going to talk about short bed trucks, fifth wheel towing. One thing you don't want to happen is you don't want your cab to meet the front of your fifth wheel. A lot of the fifth wheels are shaped differently in the front. Some give you more turning radius, some give you less. I've got a new one. I probably get 65 to 70% degree turns on mine. Really want to go for a 90. I've done the auto sliders before. I really like them, nothing against them. They take up a lot of your bed and they're heavy and they usually come apart in a lot of pieces. For me, I like the fifth wheel, I like the stabilization. And so on today's vehicle, we're gonna go with the Reese Sidewinder. And got it in the bed of the truck. We're gonna go ahead and unbox that and just kind of show you what it comes with. You do have to order the wedge for your hitch, depending if you've got a Reese or B&W or whatever it is. You have to order the wedge, and the wedge is the part that actually slides up in there and stops it from pivoting in the hitch. So we're gonna move that pivot point back, which will let us turn 90 degrees with the Sidewinder. So let's get around there to the back of the truck. Let's get this box opened up and see what it looks like. Okay, so it comes in a pretty big box. It is pretty heavy. Recommended 2 people on this deal. So that's pretty much what it looks like. You can see it's got a wedge here in the storage position. I'm not sure what wedge that is. I know the one I needed to order is right here. I've got the Reese 20K, the new M5 hitch right there, and the one that's required for mine is the 68202. Okay, so this probably would have worked better with the forks, but I just basically put it in my bucket. You can see the back holes. I'm gonna get it where I can line those back holes up, get the bolts started, and then we'll just flip up the front. That'll be a lot easier. Okay, so on the page it tells you right here that we've got the Lippert Rhino. That's the one that was on there. So it's basically showing me I'm going to be in these 2 holes back here, and then I'm going to run that top corner and that one right there. So we kind of know where we're going to line it up. Okay, so I've got my hitch mounted and I've got it adjusted, got my camper level. I actually had to drop my hitch another 2 inches in my bed, and I had to raise this one up from where the factory one was. You can see that Rhino box was here, and I was actually on the middle adjustment on the truck, and I had to drop it down 2 inches. So this one is a little bit different, so you're gonna have to configure your hitch probably a little different on the height inside the truck. As you can see, mine's all the way on the bottom setting. Works perfect. I have about 6.5 to 7 inches of bed rail clearance, from the top of the camper to the bottom of my bed rail. I've removed the locking bolts back here so we can now swivel, and I've got the wedge. The wedge is mounted right here. There's 2 bolts. You take it out, put it right here. This is the pin that you use to slide it into the hitch. Okay, just to kind of show you, I've got the wedge off here, and as you can see, that's the end that goes up in the slider and bolts to the hitch. Okay, so on the sheet you're going to see a 1 weld or 2 weld, depending on which hitch you have. It's which goes forward. Now, the part number I gave earlier, that's the wedge I have, and it goes forward. And so when it goes in here, this is what you see right here. You're going to run it up with that crank under there until it touches right there, and that's going to give you the perfect lock. So probably going to have to hook my camper up and get it perfectly straight for the first adjustment, and then once this is set, I won't have to set it again for my hitch. Now, I am going to use a Teflon ring because I don't like to use grease on my hitches, and that's against the instructions and what they say. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Teflon ring and I'm going to cut it out where this wedge is, And really, that Teflon ring, the only thing it's going to do, it's going to lubricate it for when it, not lubricate it, but it's going to make it slip whenever you go to back up under it. So I'll show you what I'm doing over there. So here's my Teflon ring. You can see where I laid the wedge on top of it, and like that, just so I can get me a good trace pattern. Try to stay away from that as much as I can. I'm going to see how much that wedge goes in there, and then I'm just going to cut to the outside of this line. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I do need to be on the outside so that that wedge can go all the way in. And just once I get this seated, once I get it on there, get it straightened out, I want to make sure that that wedge is all the way up, and then I'm not hitting this Teflon ring right here. So this is trial and error, but I think this is going to work. Okay, so I got my Teflon ring cut. I probably went a little too close there. We'll just have to see what that does. But you can see the wedge can pretty much move all the way forward without any issues. And then this is also going to keep me from scarring my fifth wheel hitch plate. And once you get it hooked up, like I said, just pull that pin, turn that knob, run the wedge up in the hitch, and you're good to go. So, okay, now for the breakaway cable. I was going to mount it here, but the problem was when you turn the hitch, this wire is too short. So I need to be in the center of the pivot point, basically. So this can hook up to my hitch, like always up here. And then I have plenty of room to swing this around 90 degrees. So once you get your wire on there, you can see that we're able to make 90 degrees both ways, being right under the pivot point right there. And what makes that nice too is that when you're in your campsite, you can swing that hitch out of your way and get you a couple more feet, pull your truck up under it. Alright, so got the Sidewinder hooked up, pulled the camper out. You want to see a full 90-degree turn? We're pretty close to it. But as you can see, cab clearance is not an issue on a 90-degree with the Reese Sidewinder hitch. So that's exactly what we were trying to accomplish. Wanted to shoot this angle also so you could see it. Plenty of clearance, not an issue. So I want to thank you for watching the video. Please hit like and subscribe down in the bottom corner. And Reese Sidewinder, 90-degree turns, short bed trucks, it's all good. Catch you on the next video.